Today we are going to present several examples of videos that try to fool people into thinking they can generate free electricity. We must first examine a short video that shows how electricity is generated. Take notes and understand the concepts explained so we can understand how people will create content that will fool people into thinking they are generating electricity. There are too many videos that are being made to fool people, so I selected 3 to cover today as examples of this scam. Can you spot how these scams work? I will explain at the end of each video. Feel free to comment your views about these types of scams. Now let's learn about how electricity is generated.
What you're looking at is a very simple alternating current or AC generator, a device that converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. This part is called the armature. It's made from metal, and electricity is generated by its rotation between 2 magnets. To show clearly how the generator works, one half has been coloured yellow. The armature can be rotated in various ways, for example using pressurized steam, as in a power plant, a flow of water from a dam, or a flow of air from a wind turbine. These parts are called slip rings. They are also made of metal and are connected to the armature. The slip rings and the armature rotate together. The rings are connected to brushes made from carbon. The brushes make contact with the rings as the rings rotate, so they provide an electron flow within the system. In order to determine the magnitude and direction of current, a galvanometer is attached. When the armature starts to rotate, an electric current is formed. This is because the magnetic flux changes over time. Magnetic flux is a measurement of the total magnetic field that passes through a surface. Notice that electric current is formed not because of the magnetic flux, but because of a change of flux. Magnetic flux might be non-zero, but if the rate of change of the flux is 0, there won't be a current. Formation of electric current depends on the change of flux, which can be calculated by this formula. If the angle between the area vector and the magnetic field is 0, the rate of change of the flux is 0. When the armature is parallel to the magnets, the rate of change of flux is 0, so that no electricity is generated. But as the armature rotates, the magnetic flux starts to change. Electrons in the armature start to flow, and an electric current is formed. After a quarter of a cycle, the change of the magnetic flux reaches a maximum, and so the current reaches a maximum too. As the armature continues to rotate, the change of the magnetic flux gradually decreases, and consequently the current decreases as well. When the yellow armature part reaches the bottom, the armature is parallel to the magnets, and because the change of magnetic flux is 0 at this point, the current is 0 as well. Up to this stage, according to Fleming's right-hand rule, the current's direction is inward. As the armature keeps rotating, the magnetic flux starts to change again and reaches its maximum when the yellow armature part approaches the magnet. As the armature rotates further, the change of the magnetic flux decreases until it becomes 0 and the cycle is completed. Between half and complete cycle, Fleming's right-hand rule indicates that the direction of current is outward. So every quarter cycle, the electric current reaches a maximum, and every half cycle, the current drops to 0. After every half cycle, the direction of the current changes. This change of the direction of the current is the biggest difference between alternating current and direct current. In direct current, in order to prevent changes of current direction, only one ring, known as a split ring, is used. In an AC generator, the frequency at which the current changes direction is determined by the rotation speed. For example, in the United States, the AC frequency is 60 Hz, which means that the current changes 60 times back and forth every second, whereas in Europe, The AC frequency is 50 Hz. The choice of these frequencies dates back to the 19th century. At this time, efficient speeds for steam turbines to rotate were between 3,000 and 4,000 revolutions per minute. In Europe, 3,000 RPM generators began to be used, which generate 50 Hz frequencies, whereas in the US, 3,600 RPM generators were used, which generate a frequency of 60 Hz.
Remember the concepts of how electricity is generated. This video showed the construction of a device. Take note of the position of the coils and how close they are to the magnet. The strongest part of these magnets is the center. Notice no coil is moving through the center of the magnet. So where do you think the electricity is coming from? A hidden battery. Where would that be hidden? How is the electricity powering the fan? Batteries hidden in the fan base. How are the lights being turned on? From a switch in the small motor or a relay from the device on the table. There is no electricity being generated at all here. Watch the video again yourself and watch closely. Now let's watch the next example of this free electricity scam. In this example we see no coil moving inside of any magnet. So where do you think the electricity is coming from? A hidden battery. Where would that be hidden? The battery is inside the base of the outlets. Or, the capacitor is taking the place of the battery to power the lights and motor. The power transformer is just a prop and not real at all. Now let's watch the next example of this free electricity scam. This is the worst example by far. There is no moving coil at all. There is no magnet moving past any coil. Wrapping wire around a fan does nothing to generate electricity. Adding a speaker to the fan does nothing to generate electricity. Take note of the LED light bulbs. Where do we see the electricity being generated? Where would we find the hidden battery? Inside the base of each bulb. The wire connection activates the circuit so the power flows to turn on the bulbs. I hope these examples brings awareness to the scam of this type of video content. Feel free to send us comments on the scams you find. Our next video will expose another scam that is making the rounds on the internet. Like, share and comment below.